Good morning, everyone. I'm Carissa Squenza and I'm your reporter for today. My topic for today is all about dances in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is composed of 11 countries of impressive diversity in religion, culture, and history. Brunei, Burma, or Myanmar, Cambodia, Timor-Leste, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam are the 11 countries that belongs in Southeast Asia. It is also one of the most dynamic areas of the world economically, a factor which largely accounts for its growing international significance. ASEAN diversity presents hundreds of traditional dances with interesting histories, and it's almost impossible not to jump in, especially on village visit or at festival where tourists are almost dragged onto the floor. The locals, no matter where you travel, are happy to teach you the rudiments of their dances and explains the story behind them. A few countries offer organized dance classes for short or long-term visitors, but all offer performances that are guaranteed to leave a memory of a lifetime. The first country is Brunei. It is a Southeast Asian country located on Borneo between the states of Sabah and Sarawak, which are part of Malaysia. There is a wide array of native folk musics and dance, and also Brunei shares some cultural perspectives and links with the countries of Southeast Asia, such as Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, and Philippines. The strong Islamic influence means that dance performance and music are somewhat restricted. So these are the traditional dances of Brunei. There are so many traditional dances, but what I get is the most popular traditional dance. So first is Hipin or Jipintar or Jujet. The Hipintar and Jujet are Bornean folk dance performed as welcoming gestures to express the feelings of joy and happiness. These dances are very lively and are usually performed at wedding ceremonies and festivals. The choreography of this dance often features tar or traditional drum and saputangan or handkerchief props that are mostly used by female dancers. The Hipin and Jujit dance in symbols use conscious movements rather than individual effort. Among the musical instruments that accompany these dances are the gambus or Arabic oud, and then gulintangan, kendang, rebana or traditional drum, accordion, and tawak-tawak. Next, we have Dundang Didingdang. This dance is performed during festivals, wedding ceremonies, and when moving into a new home. It is usually performed only by women, but sometimes the women partner with men. This dance portrays the happiness of very lively and happy young girls. The Dundang Didingdang dance is a combination of passionate and graceful movements that are energetic, vibrant, and dynamic. The choreography of this dance often feature props such as saputangan or handkerchief and is most commonly performed by women. Among the musical instruments that are accompany these dances are the gambus or Arabic oud, gulintangan, kendang, rebana or traditional drum, and accordion. The second countries that we are going to tackle for today about their traditional dance in Southeast Asia is Myanmar. The development of Myanmar folk dance has kept in line with folk music and songs. Therefore, they are always associated with folk music and songs. These three performing arts are complementary and agro-based due to the fact that the vast minority of population in Myanmar is peasants. Their performances mirror the agricultural culture that their daily activities, while their traditional music and songs depict their daily lifestyle. Their traditional dances present their production activities, mostly all Myanmar folk dances are performed by a group of people on occasion of some special events. The history of Myanmar folk dance dates back to the pre-Buddhism time, together with the deity worship that characterized by complicated traditional dance required the dancer to perform integrated gestures. As a result, it was said to be somehow similar to the circus performance. Nowadays, it has been preserved and developed by both skillful and young dancers. The traditional dances of Myanmar is Ozi dance or Osi. This kind of traditional art is performed by Osi drum players who are accompanied by an orchestra using composed of at least four instrumentalists. These four instruments includes drum, oboe, cymbals, and bamboo clap per player. The Ozi dancers plays the Ozi drum, dances, and sings at the same time. When he is tired, the cymbals player or bamboo clap per player will take over him. Osi dance steps are quick and movements are jerky. Solo and chorus singings alternate. The Osi dance is usually performed in some important occasion like the local and the Pagoda festival due to its lyrics. What makes Osi dance outstanding from the other dance in the chanting of Tianja or Tang Yat, an antiphonal chant usually amusing or satirical song to the accompaniment of Osi. It is because the Osi could add boisterous and pastoral atmosphere to the festival. It is performed on all happy and joyous occasions. Next, we have Duba dance or Dubat. Like other folk dances, Duba dance is also associated with the same band of musician rather. What makes Osi different from Duba is the type of drum performed by the dancers, while Duba is a two-dimensional drum which is slung by a strap on the neck of the player. Usi, normally slung on the shoulder of the player, is an elongated one-sided drum with a long body and open-ended tail or leg. The Jia is also chanted in Duba dance. Sometimes the Jia or Jiha is composed extempore by a witty remaster of the village, boisterous percussion music, Sorno song, agile dance steps, and chanting of amusing and Jia or Jiha makes the Duba Waing one of the most hilarious folk dances. It can be performed both at special events like nativation ceremony due to the fact that the Duba dance can agitate and inspire the public. This traditional dances is normally played when people join their hands to do voluntary work such as digging water wells and tanks, building roads, upgrading public and religious structures. Next, we have Bongi dance. The Bongi dance has its present in Upper Myanmar. The origin of this folk dance could date back from the dawn of Kon Buong dynasty in 1752 to 1885, originated in Suebo. While the organizers of Byongge is the owner of the paddy land, the participants normally are the cultivators. Planting and harvesting times are when this traditional dance is played. Both Bonge dance, the music and the accompanied song accompanying are slow. However, the blend of the clash of big brass cymbals and the boom of the drum beat makes the sound of the Byunggi reverberating. Next, we have Nabansan dance. Another folk dance is the Nabansan dance. It is one of It is also one of the most common Myanmar and favored by the local people. People named this dance after the trendy hairstyle favored by youngsters in the ancient time. Tops of hair are tied on either side of the head to hang over the ear. The dancer is a boy of the early teen with a Naiban San hairstyle, circularly paint of the Tanakha makeup on his cheeks due to the cloth as accessories like a round gold pendant, gold bangles, and anklets, and the performer looks like a young boy of the immemorial time. With the accompaniment of an orchestra composed of 5 to 7 instrumentalists, he dances and prances boyishly to the percussion music. This dance is played on festive occasion, particularly for the fundraising for social welfare and religious works. The third country is Cambodia. Dance in Cambodia consists of three main categories: classical dance, of the royal court, folk dance which portrays cultural tradition, and social dances performed in social gatherings, but I only get the traditional dances of the Cambodia. The traditional dance of Cambodia is the truth dance or dance of the stag. It is a popular dance presenting a tale of a hunter and a deer who spread several danger between a giant, Tuugras, and peacock. It is performed to ward off evil and bad luck. Next, we have Rubam Kom Araik. A dance mainly used 2 or 3 bamboo pole which hitting every sound. It is reported that the dance came from Khoi people, but it is more believed that the birthplace is here in the Philippines during the reign of the King Norodom in 1834 to 1904 when he was traveling here in the Philippines. Next, we have Rubam. I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly, but for me it is Rubam Ngaok Pailin, or the Pailin Peacock Dance, a dance portraying the Kola people in the Pailin and their amusement with a pair of peafowl. And then it is the dance that is performed at the holidays, and it is a pure Khmer dance. Next, we have Kiga. Many social dances of European origin are in recent centuries partner dances, but this is quite rare elsewhere, where they may instead be circle dances or line dances, perhaps reserved for those of a certain age, gender, or social position. Next, we have Cambodian coconut dance, a dance performed involving coconuts with male and female dancers. Men wear yellow t-shirt and dark red changkibin, while women wear a button-up skirt and a garn silk or konken or kongkeben. The dance originated around 1960 from the Rumistihik district in Sairing province. Cambodia fishing dance, a dance performance involved fishing that was composed in 1960s at the Royal University of the Fine Arts, Phnom Penh. It involves male dancer and female dancers. The fourth country is we have the Timor-Leste. As Timor music reflects its history under the control of the both Portugal and Indonesia, who have imported music like gamelan and fado. The most widespread form of native folk music was the Liquori dance performed by women to welcome home men after war. They used a small drum and sometimes carried enemy heads in procession through villages. A modern version of the dance is used by women in courtship. Modern era, in the modern era, Timorese music has been closely associated with the independence movement. For example, the band Daily All Stars released a song that became an anthem in build-up to the referendum on the on the independence in 2000, while the United Nations commi- commissioned a song called Hakutuba by Lahani to encourage people to register to vote in the referendum. The traditional dances of Timor-Leste is Likuray. It examines the intersection between indigenous traditional Timorese dances such as Suru, Surutais, Sao Batar, Futi Raba, Likuray Bidu, Tibiday, Tibi, and other dances. Likuray is the most widespread form of native folk music, and it is also performed by women to welcome home men after war. They use a small drum and sometimes carried enemy's head in procession through villages. It is a modern version of dance is used by women in courtship. A total of 6,000 dancers performed the Likuray dance at the peak of the Fulan Filan Hill in Diron Village, Lacmanen District, Belo Regency, Esnosa, Tingara, and the dance was part of the Fulan Fihan Festival, which featured dancers from Belu, Malacca, North Timor, Tenga, or Titiyo, and neighboring country, Timor-Leste. The Fulan Fihan Festival is one of our efforts to introduce the traditional dance originating from Belu as a legacy that needs to be preserved, said famous Indonesian dancer choreographer Iko Supianto on Saturday, October 28th. I don't know what year is it. That the 46-year-old man who was appointed by the US singer Madonna as her choreographer during her world tour several years ago, said that the Likuray dance was usually performed by male dancers with sword, while female dancers would use tihar or small drum. The Likuray dance was often performed when welcoming VIPs during traditional ceremonies or during cultural festivals. Echo explained that the dance was first performed to welcome village heroes coming home from war. Centuries ago, there was a tradition of beheading enemies in Belo. The dance would be performed to celebrate their victory. This dance expressed their gratitude and happiness because their heroes returned home safely, he added. Since the country Independence Day, the beheading traditional is no more. However, the Bilo villagers preserve the Likuray dance and perform it to welcome their guests. The fifth country is Indonesia. Art and culture have been a big part of Indonesia since ancient times. Traditional dances are among the most prominent cultural heritage passed through generation, boosting not only aesthetic brilliance but also captivating stories. Discover the most beautiful traditional dances from Indonesia. Indonesia is a rich, traditional, and legendary dance forms. Is Ruru, Anting, and Jokos Sihir being of them. It celebrates the tales of the legends of Ruru, Ating, and Joko Sihir and the origin of Yandnya Kasada. This dance form is very similar to Balinese dance forms, which involve slow piece dance moves with great refinement. Balinese dance is an ancient dance tradition that is part of the religious and artistic expression among the Balinese people of Bali Island, Indonesia. The traditional dances of Indonesia are the traditional dances of Indonesia is Riog, Panorogo. Comparable to its eeriness of mystical depiction and symbolism, Irog was supposed to be performed only at the night of the full moon. The dance tells the story of a great battle between the king of Panorogo and a lion-like mythical creature. One of the most anticipated moments is when the mythical creature leaves a 50 kilograms of weight using only its teeth. Aside from supernatural overtones, Ryog is very interesting to watch because of an extravagant costume and lively, agile movements coming from 20 to 30 dancers at once. Next, we have Ligong dance or Bali, one of the most popular and culturally significant Balinese dance. Ligong dancers have enjoyed high status and recognition in society. In ancient times, royal only royal families have the privilege to enjoy the exquisiteness of this dance, which includes intricate fingers and feet movements and demonstrative facial expressions, accentuated with sophisticated traditional costume. Next, we have Kikak dance. Widely known among international tourists as the fire dance, Kikak indeed features some extreme fire actions in some episodes, making its best performed at dusk. As many as 150 male dancers are involved in a performance sitting around a fire wearing nothing more than a sacred Balinese sarongs. Their nightly coordinated movement was harmoniously accompanied by rhythm sung by the dancer themselves. The kikak is the kinesthetic portrayal of one episode in the Ramayana epic, and many believes it's influenced by a trans exorcism ritual. Next, we have pairing or pairing dance. The viewers of pairing dance can't help but wonder how do dancers keep plates or pairing in the palm of their hands while moving so fast and also acrobatically. The dancers perform at least 20 lively dancers moves with plates accompanied by joyful and soulful rhythms. Aside from the graceful and magic of the movements, pairing dance is also distinguished for its sharp cultural value as its rendition portrays the customs and every lives of the ethnic local people of Minangkabao. Minangkabao. Next, we have Saman dance or Asi. Saman's highlighted characteristic is the fast-paced rhythmic movement performed by dozens of dancers. The integrate coordinated hand movements among dancers make the dance intriguing to see and has both domestic and foreign viewers. This dance used to serve as a medium of religious teaching in the local community, but today it's mostly cherished as a culturally rich entertainment. To accompany the dance, a singer recites traditional poems to govern the movements, resulting in an excellent harmony that captivates the eyes and ears of those who watch. The Saman dance is part of the cultural heritage of the Gayo people of Aceh province in Sumatra. Boys and young men perform the Saman setting on their heels or kneeling in right rows. This movement symbolizes the daily lives of the Gayo people and their natural environment. Next, we have the Kipas Pakarena dance. Kipas means fan in the Indonesian, which is the main property in this dance. Colorful fans are swung about in elegant movements by the festively dressed dancers, creating aesthetically pleasing motion that inspire viewers. Beyond that, local people believe this dance depicts the story of the parting between divine figures and human beings. Before departing for heaven, the farmer showed human how to farm, hunt, and breed livestock. The locals then created a dance detailing just that, and they hope that the other generation can get the valuable message. Next, we have Serimpi dance or the Central Java. Serimpi dance used to be a luxury reserved for the royals. This dance is so beautiful. It is said that it can transport those who watch to the land of dreams. And also, this dance is performed by four female dancers, each representing one element of the universe, which is the water, fire, air, and earth. Serampi is characterized by slow, gracious feminine movements by equally beautiful dancers. It shows that dancers as courteous, decent women as idealized by the Javan culture. Next, we have Laos. Cultural dance of Laos is really important. This is their way to tell other people on what are the things that they need, that they need to know about our culture or about their culture. It is also the way that the other people could have respect, knowledge, and give importance to our and give importance to their traditions and norms. Let other culture let other culture tell what are the story behind their dance. The traditional dance of Laos is Damvong. It is one of the most popular folk dance. This however, Lamvong, it is the national dance of Laos and version of it exists throughout the Lao-speaking region and even Cambodia, where it is known as Ramvong. And also, it is a type of Southeast Asian dance where both females and males dance in a circle. It is popular folk dance in Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand. It is a slow round dance continuously moving in a circular manner and incorporates graced hand movements and simple footwork. Next, we have Malaysia. One of the most popular traditional dances in Malaysia is Jujet. Jujet is the most popular traditional dance in Malaysia. It is originated from the Portuguese folk dance and flowed into the Malacca during the spice trade period of the Malacca dynasty. Generally, it performed on celebration and social occasions. Jujet is a traditional Malay dance that originated in Malacca. The tempo of Jujet music is fairly quick with the feeling of teasing and playing between the partners. The music emphasizes double and triple beat, double and triple beat rather, division, division both in alternation and simultaneously, and sung in the Northeast Malaysia style. This Malay dance form is usually performed by couples who appear to be playfully teasing each other. The beauty of the dance lies in the fact that the couple does not touch each other as they make rhythmic hand and foot movements. Next, we have Sapin. Zapin is a Malay dance popular in the Malaysian states of Johor or Johor, Pahang, and Selangor. The Middle Eastern Arab traders introduced this dance of Malaysia in the 14th century. This dance form is an enchanting concoction of Islamic teaching with elegant body movements. That it was that is why Zapin was only performed by men earlier. Later, it was performed in pairs with ladies. Next, we have Silat. Silat or Pinkak Silat is the artistic translation of a deadly martial art form of the Malaysia, originating from the Indonesia. Silat is a fierce combat technique to save and free people from the foreign invasions. Next, we have Dikir Barat. It is popular in Kelantan. In May 1998, the Kelantan government banned this dance form. However, this was for a short while, and the ban was lifted in no time. Dikir Barat has four components: the tukwara or the leader, the tukang karot or the song initiator, a chorus of members of the awok-awok, and the percussion ensemble with music similar to Indonesian folk style. This dance of Malaysia is renowned as the Battle of Wits, as it involves a spontaneous, continuous flow of rhythmic verses to mock and criticize the opponent. Tokwara sets the theme for the performance and binds the group together. He or she discusses contemporary and social issues. The leader needs to be charismatic and quick-witted to rebuttal. Tukang Karot initiates the responses and challenges the competing groups. Next, we have Philippines. Well, a dance means to move rhythmically to music, typically following a set sequence of steps. There's certainly more to it than its literal meaning. Dance is source of entertainment and good healthy lifestyle, but as for Philippine folk dances, we see a bigger picture and deeper meaning. Yes. A traditional dance in the Philippines connects us to place culture. It is about history, traditions, and majestic beauty of the place it's associated with. The cultural dances in the Philippines evolved from different regions which are distinct from one another as they are affected by religion and culture. When talking about the dance in the Philippines, we can help but think of the classic Filipino folk dance that put the country into the world map. Here's a list of the folk dances in the Philippines you should that you should know. First is Tinikling. Tinikling is one of the most famous dances in the Philippines. The movements of these Filipino folk dances imitate the movements of the tickling bird as it walks around through the tall grass and between three branches. People used bamboo pools to perform this Filipino traditional dance. Tinikling is composed of three basic steps which include single, doubles, and hops. Next, we have itik-itik. The itik-itik is named after a species of duck, or itik, whose movements the dance imitates. This example of the Philippine folk dance from Surigao del Sur mimics how the itik walks and splashes water to attract a mate. Next, we have Maglalatik. Maglalatik is a folk dance in Luzon. It is not just any other traditional dance in the Philippines that mimics the movements of the animals, but this dance in the Philippines has a meaning. It is a mock war dance that depicts a fight over a coconut meat and highly priced food. The Filipino folk dance is broken into four parts. There are two devoted to the battle and two devoted to the reconciling. The dancing men wear coconut shells as part of their costumes, and they hit them in rhythm with the music. Maglalatik is a dance in the religious procession during the Fiesta of Binyan, Laguna, as an offering to San Isidro de Labrador, the patron of saint of farmers. Next, we have Binasuan. Binasuan is another folk dance in Luzon, originated in Bayambang, Pangasinan. The word Binasuan means with the use of drinking glasses. It is one of the most challenging Filipino dances as the dancers need to balance the glasses on their heads and their hands as they move. What makes it more difficult is that the glasses are filled with rice wine, which makes any misstep a messy mistake. Next, we have Singkil. Singkil is a Mindanao folk dance that originated from the Maranao people and it is based on the story in the Darangin, the pre-Islamic Maranao interpretation of the ancient Hindu-Indian epic, or the Ramayana. This tribal dance in the Philippines means to entangle the feet with a disturbing object such as vines or anything in your path. The lead dancers in the role of Putri Gandingan, or the Darangi name for Sita, graciously manipulates either fans, scarves, or her hands while she steps in and out of closing bamboo pools. The pools are arranged in either a parallel, rectangular, or crisscross fashion. Next, we have Kapa Malong Malong. Kapa Malong Malong is a cultural dance in the Philippines influenced by Muslim. The malong is the tabular garment, and the dance essentially shows the many ways it can be worn. This traditional dance in the Philippines is not only for women, though there is also a men version of the dance since they wear malongs in different ways. Next, we have Carinyosa. If there's one type of folk dance in the Philippines that will surprise you, well, it's Carinyosa Philippine folk dance. You might think that the most of the Philippine folk dances included men, women that have a shy and Maria Clara personality. While it's true, Carinyosa is a Filipino cultural dance made for flirting. Hence, it's a courtship dance in the Philippines. The dancer make a number of flirtatious movements as they pick out at one another behind fans and handkerchief. Next, we have Sayaw sa Bangko. Another example of Philippine folk dance that will test your skills is Sayaw sa Bangko. It is performed on the top of the narrow bench. To ace this ethnic dance in the Philippines, dancers need good balance as they go through a series of movements that include some impressive acrobatics. Next, we have Pandango sa Ilaw. Just like Binasuan, Pandango sa Ilaw is a game of balancing glasses only with candles inside. Dancers have to balance 3 oil lamps, one on the head, one in each hand, and it's a lively dance that originated on Lubang Island in Occidental Mindoro. The music is 3/4 time and is usually accompanied by castanets. So if you're always game for challenging Filipino dances, try Pandango sa Ilaw. The Pandango sa Ilaw is similar to the Spanish Fandango, but the Pandango is performed while balancing 3 oil lamps. Next, we have Pandango o Wasiwas. The Pandango o Wasiwas is a type of dance in the Philippines similar to the Pandango sa Ilaw and is typically performed by fishermen to celebrate a bountiful catch. In Pandango o Siwas, the lamps are placed in their clothes or nets and swung around the dancers circle and sway. Next, we have Kuratsa. The Kuratsa is considered as the courtship dance in the Philippines. This Filipino dance has 3 parts. First is where the couple performs a waltz. Second, the music set a faster pace as the men pursue the woman around the dance floor in a chase. Lastly, the music becomes even faster as the man wins over the woman with his mating dance. Next, we have Pantomia. Pantomina. Pantomina is another courtship dance in the Philippines. It is a regular feature of festival in Bicol and is said to mimic the movements of doves in courtship. Pantomina is a Bicolano folk dance that came from the Spanish word for pantomime because of its courting or wooing movements. Its old name is salampate, a Bicol term for doves, so the doves is sometimes referred to as the dance of the doves. Munang Pantomia, dance of the doves. Next, we have Singapore. Various multinational countries primarily influence the dances of Singapore. They are not restricted to a single type, but they are an amalgam of ethnicities of the other Asian countries. Sorry sa mga manok. Mostly from China, India, Malaysia, Indonesia, and others. Their traditional forms are blend of contemporary as well as classical techniques. The common ground of each dance form is their upholding of ethnic beliefs, the tradition, and creatively portraying social practices and concepts through this art. The visual impact of each form of dance in Singapore is dynamic and symbolic. However, each form varies in significance. One can be performed at festivities while the other is staged at any event. It is a dominant mood of expression, uniting drama and traditional music. Singapore has a unique history of its own when it comes to dancing as an art form. A united anti-colonial movement for multicultural activities was initiated by the Singaporeans post the World War II period. Further on, in 1959, a Ministry of Culture was formed to motivate conservation and promotions of Chinese, Malay, and Indian dances. Western modern dance was not mainstream yet in Singapore during the time. Western influence was until then discouraged and tagged to be undesirable. The most significant milestone happened when in 1963, the Singapore government built its first national theatre showcasing the local and regional ethnic dance and its development. The first Southeast Asia Cultural Festival was held in Singapore after the significant breakthrough encouraging fine arts, especially dance. Finally, in 1970, Singapore witnesses the development of its full-time People Association Dance Company. The National Dance Festival was organized in 1978, which gradually went on to be called the Festival of Asian Performing Arts, and it's presently called the Singapore Art Festival. The traditional dances of Singapore is the lion dance, for luck and fortune. This form of dance in Singapore is mostly adapted and taken from Chinese culture. The performers impersonate a lion movement in a lion costume. The dance is said to bring good luck and fortune at any embarking event or festival. The lion dance is usually performed during the New Year times and other Singaporean traditional, cultural, and religious festivities. It may also be performed during special celebration or the start of a new venture, or even at weddings and the Chinese New Year celebrated by the Singaporean Chinese population. Two prime dancers hold the lion and it bears a tail. It is mainly different from the dragon dance. The two lion versions are the northern and the southern lion. Singapore usually has the southern lion. The southern lion is the one-horned monster. It is crafted with a lot of paper mache or paper muck on a bamboo cutout. The color of the lion is said to signify the age and type of it. It differs according to the various occasions since the ritual attached to bringing luck with a lot neighboring influence. Singaporean dances were inspired by Malaysian forms representing a lot of their clothing and music. The two primary Malay dance forms were Zapin, Singapura, and Peranakan dance. In the 1980s, additional dances followed suit. Singapore had a predominant culture of majorly Chinese as well as the other Asian cultural influences from India, Malaysia, and other countries. It engulfs various traditions and techniques of different dance culture in Singaporean form. Here's a list of Singaporean traditional dances with a lot of influence of the Chinese population. Dance forms in Singapore were majorly influenced by Chinese tradition and culture. The most common dance form is the lion dance. The traditional dances of Singapore is also involved Sapin Singapura. It is a Malay dance evolved over a couple of years. Originally, it was a ceremonial performance particular for religious events. It was only performed by male dancers, but now the dance has become an important representation of traditional entertainment. It can be seen staged on different occasions for different purpose. Now it is also involves inclusion of famous dancers. He dance his perform The dance is performed in pairs. The outfit is a straight gown with an overwrap of another piece clothing over it. Various kind of musical instrument also accompany it, played together like an orchestra. The musical instrument used are guitar, gambus, reverb, accordion, bass, synthesizer, marwas or bongos, rebana or drum, and the dok. Next, we have the Peranakan dance or the poetic dance form. The Peranakan or Dundang Sayang is a traditional poetic dance of Singapore, mainly associated with the Malay and Peranakan communities in Singapore and Malaysia. It is a mix both Chinese and Malay culture. Peranakan are a native group which belong from the Chinese settlers from the southern provinces who settled in the Malaysian island, who further moved on to Singapore. The dance is performed during the different ceremonial affairs while wedding dinners like wedding dinners, birthdays and anniversaries. The costume are Malaysian batik sarongs, which are a batik wrap around dress, and three karosangs that are brooches and Piranakan beaded slippers called kasut manik. The dresses are floral and symbols the footwear consisted of colors influenced by Piranakan porcelain. It was the Dundang singing style at the ceremonies with singers which are complemented by a small orchestra of musicians playing the violin. The traditional Malay hand drums or rebana and the gong are the main instruments, were primarily accompanied by guitar, western drums, an accordion, tambourine, and a flute. Next, we have Bharatanatyam, or an expressive classic form. Another expressive dance form originated in Tamil Nadu is the Bharatanatyam, one of the oldest dance forms in India. It was a way of inaugurating any spirit event. The dance has traditionally been a form of an interpretive and personal narration of mythical legend and spiritual ideas from the Hindu text. The contemporary stage show the Bharatanatyam in Singapore have incorporated technical performances, and the dance is based on the non-religious ideas and fusion themes. More so, for entertaining the audience, Bharatanatyam involves a lot of hand movements, facial expression, footwork, on beats and fixture of the other upper torso. The mudras and ritas are the crucial factor of the dance form. It involves a sequence of performance wherein the dancer first evoke blessings and apologize to Mother Earth for stamping it, followed by the performance and finally by the chanting a sloka for thanking the audience. The attire is a sari that is tightly dropped and fixed with a belt around the waist. Heavy ornaments also complement it, and the most important being the foot leather belts or gongrus, flowers called gara in the hair, and the identical jewelry on the neck ears, and head, and some buckles for the wrist. Next, we have the katak or storytelling through dance. Katak involves the telling of stories through dances. This dance form is another classically Indian dance which tells stories of the ancient classical in the form of dance through movements, hands and body, dynamic footwork and facial expression. Singapore stages katak on many occasions. It is most performed in dance festivals and international shows. The main emphasis of this dance in Singapore is on the footwork, which is highlighted by the congos and the graceful body movements. Gestures of the arms, turn, and bends are the other essential components of this dance. It is not just dance but a lot of acting involved in order to tell a story to an audience alongside the dance. Katak involves both men and women. The attire for women is usually a sari which is hung on the left shoulder and not so tightly wrapped. Minimum jewelry, bindi with earrings and bangles are worn. For men, it is a minimal with just a dhoti, kurta, and jewelry at times. Musical instruments include the tabla, cymbal, harmonium that is sync with the thai and beats. Next, we have Western classic styles ballet. Other than the traditional forms, ballet is one of the contemporary types of dances in Singapore and has played a major role in shaping the dance culture of Singapore. It is an inspiration from the French and Russian concert dance. Other than the traditional forms, ballet is one of the contemporary types of dances of Singapore that has played a major role in shaping the dance culture of Singapore. It is an inspiration from the French and Russian court dance. In 1998, a ballet company called Singapore Dance Theatre held the baton or presenting ballet and spreading the art of this dance of Singapore. It involves rigorous training and teaching as ballet is not an easy dance form. Yes, ballet is not that so easy. So hard. It includes mime and acting as well. It includes modern dance, footwork, and turns in of the leg. One needs to be extremely flexible to perform ballet. The costumes are made of suitable colors. They are more like ballerina skirt which evolve into the knee-length tutus. Full-length stockings are worn with ballerina shoe underneath. Jewelry worn is minimal to none. It is graceful dance form of music accompanied is classical music with French dialects. The Singapore Festival of Dance evolved to be called the Singapore Art Festival. This is an annual festival of Singapore aims bringing together dancers, choreographers, and learners from the different ethnicities and culture to present their dances form to learn and impact knowledge of other dances form to each other. Next, we have Thailand. Traditional Thai dancing is a combination of graceful body movements in addition to elaborate costume and music. There are a total of 6 different forms of Thai dance: the Khon, the Liki, Ramwong, Shadow Puppetry, Lakhon Lek, and the Lakhon. Traditional Thai dancing is both graceful and elegant that takes several distinct forms. From the different types of dance to the costume and more, here is a brief history of the basic of the traditional dancing. Traditional Thai dancing is a combination of graceful body movements in addition to elaborate costume and music. And also, here are the traditional dances in Thailand. First is Khon. Khon is a traditional Thai mass dance. In the past, it was only performed for the royal family. But now it is performed outside the royal court. However, it is still considered to be one of the highest art forms in Thailand. The performances are derived from the Thai epic Ramakin, which are the Thai version of the Hindu Ramayana. Most of the dancers are men and they play a number of different characters including men, women, demons, and monkeys. In addition, to mask this performance are accompanied by the narrators and Thai pipat orchestra, which usually consists of percussion and wind instrument. Next, we have lakhon. Unlike the Khon style of Thai dance, lakhon performers are mostly women. Instead of having individual roles in the performance, the women work together and perform as a group. Many stories are told through these performances through acting, song, and of course, dance. The costume and stage setting are usually much more lavish in lakhon than in some of the other forms of Thai dance. The lower half of the body does not move as much as the top, with graceful and lively hand movements throughout a performance. Next, we have Liki. Liki is the most popular form of dance in Thailand. The shows are a combination of many different elements from elaborate costume to slapstick, humor, and sexual innuendo. Throughout the performance, it is meant to be funny, engaging, and especially popular in the village throughout the Thailand. Next, we have Ramwong. Ramwong meaning to dance in a circle. It is one of the most popular Thai dance. It is also Thai folk dance as the name suggests. Men and women come together in pairs and dance in a circle. Movements are slow and graceful, and this is one of the most social forms of dance out of the 6 dances of Thailand. Next, we have shadow puppetry. These performances are becoming a rare sight in Thailand. As one of the oldest art forms in the country, shadow puppetry or nang talang is a special form of Thai dance. Shadow puppetry takes place behind a white sheet where a person controls the puppet and is usually accompanied by a music to help tell a story. The puppets are used and made from intricately carved cow hides and painted after the design is complete. Next, we have Lakhon Lik. Lakhon Lik is the other form of Thai dance which uses puppets props in the performance. Although this particular art form is rarely practiced, it was a very popular show. Unlike shadow puppetry, these puppets are actually accompanied by people in the performance. The puppets usually stand at about 2 feet tall and they are brought to life by those performing with them. The puppets can do everything from singing to dancing and more. And then the last country is Vietnam. Traditional Vietnamese dance comprises several different forms, including dance as performed in Vietnamese theater and opera, dances performed at festivals, and royal dances of the imperial court. Dance is thought to have been an integral part of Vietnamese culture since ancient times, as depicted by the engravings found on Dong Song drums. Vietnam is a diverse country with 54 different ethnic groups, with the ethnic Vietnamese known as Kin making up the majority of the population. This article mainly focuses on the traditional dances of the ethnic Vietnamese, although each of the many ethnic minorities of Vietnam have their own rich culture and dance styles. The traditional dances of Vietnam is the Bai Bong dance. This dance was born in the Tran dynasty. It was used to dance during the peaceful and solemn holidays of the king. Bai Bong dance is influenced by classical music, meaning longevity with movements. The dance reunites the Vietnamese spirit associated with the Buddhist culture, merging with the development of the Truc Lam Zen. Nowadays, this dance is often used in ceremonies of the wards or at the communal house when singing or worshiping, serval festivals, and being heavily ritualistic. Baibong dance does not use any musical instrument, just a mix of lyrics and dance. The dance reunite the Vietnamese spirit associated with the Buddhist culture, merging with the development of the Trak Lam Zeng. And then, next we have the Muazo Tai Bak, or the spreading dance. This dance is from Thai ethnic minority ethnic, originating from life. The folk dance of the northwestern Thai people live together with the time, which is an indispensable spiritual dish. The crowded gatherings dance around the fire on the jar of wine with the participation of the young and old, men and women in gongs and drumming, while called Zu Kam Ken. There are many different dances with props close to everyday life, such as shawls or backpacks. Next, we have Muasap, or bamboo dancing. Unique folk dance of the Hmong people, happy occasion during the spring festival. Today, it has expanded to many other ethnic groups. The necessary props are big, straight, and long bamboo trees along with the small bamboo, or the Nyohao Zewa. The dancer is divided into the top of the stall and the group of dancer, and each group can range from a couple of couples to many couples. The more diverse, and the more lively lineup. Whenever the two groups knock on the stall and dance alternately in the gong, the long time the rhythm of the drum is rhythmic and vibrant, and the joy lasts for the long time without being bored, attracting people very excited and passionate. Next is the Middle Region Vietnamese traditional dance. The dance in the Middle Region are mostly reenacting fairy tales with clear rules, so visitors should enjoy the festive atmospheric and the plot, because the participation takes time to practicing and role playing. The dance often have the royal court. Still, there is a very beautiful dance that is close to the present day. It is the conical hat dance. Dancers often wear ao dai, or the ao tutan, and use the main props, which are the familiar conical hats or hoe girls, to dance. This dance is like lissom, gentle, and exudes the spirit of the national unity, as well as the beautiful beauty of who women with audai and conical hats. It it's quite easy to learn and perform this dance, because all you need is concentration and teamwork skill. This is just enough to help you immerse yourself in the beauty and human culture here. Next, we have Southern Part Dance. Southern dance are quite simple. Once again, the image of the Nanla appears, but this time is a combination with the Ao Baba, taking the audience around the Kulong River Delta, a rich area with intermittent rivers, to express these nuances. The dance creates images of joy and happiness. The dance introduced Pong Hep Floating Market, a place of thousands of small boats, bamboo bridge connecting to the banks of the creeks. It is also bring the audience to the bustling market of the Sadik, or Sok Trang, Can Tu, with colorful fruits and daily products. The dancer wear traditional Vietnamese Baba women. This is short, simple t-shirt, but the color is harmony with a graceful body and southern woman. The girls also wear the nanla, paired with a baba skirt to represent the national spirit. The conical hat is made of goy leaves like a palm tree or coconut tree. very light and suitable for both rain and sun protection. Next, we have Lion Dragon Dance. The Lion Dragon Dance is one of the most popular traditional dances throughout Vietnam. It is a street folk dance originating from China, often performed during festivals, especially from the Chinese New Year and the Mid-Autumn Festival, as these three animals symbolizes prosperity, longevity, and long longevity and happiness. Depending on the wide or narrow space, depending on the meaning of the festival, the Lion Dragon team performs appropriately. On the occasion of the opening business services or Lunar New Year, throughout the streets of Vietnam is always filled with the sound of lion unions with a colorful costume to dance and bring luck. Thank you. So that ends my report. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.